Did you know that an estimated 5 billion plastic hand soap and cleaning bottles are thrown away each year? Yeah, not great for our already struggling environment. That's why I'm so excited to talk about our partner today, Blueland. Blueland is on a mission to eliminate single-use plastic by reinventing cleaning essentials to be better for you and the planet with the same powerful clean you're used to. And the concept is pretty simple. You just fill your reusable bottles with water, drop in the tablets, and wait for them to dissolve. I literally just tried out the laundry tablet, and instead of having to bring my huge container like I normally do down the hall, I just brought the one tablet and my clothes came out so clean, just as clean as normal. I'm fully on board. It just makes my life easier and I'm helping the environment. And the best part, Blueland has a special offer for listeners. Right now, get 15% off your first order by going to blueland.com/dateable. You won't want to miss this. blueland.com/dateable for 15% off. That's blueland.com/dateable to get 15% off.
The Dateable podcast is an insider's look into modern dating that the Huffington Post calls one of the top 10 podcasts about love and sex. I'm your host, Yue Xu, former dating coach turned dating sociologist. You'll also hear from my co-host, Julie Krafchick. On each episode, we'll talk to real daters about everything, from sex parties to sex droughts, date fails to diaper fetishes, and first moves to first loves. We are excited you've joined us for an older episode. While our earlier seasons were all about dating in San Francisco, we quickly realized all the themes and learnings are universal for all daters. So we shifted to covering dating from all around the world as the seasons progress. The fun part is, things happen first in San Francisco, the tech epicenter and counterculture capital of the world. We love for you to keep tuning in to our older episodes, but there is no set order to listen in, so feel free to jump to more recent seasons or relevant episodes for you. Enjoy the show. The Dateable podcast is hosted by me. I'm Yue, a former dating coach in New York turned active dater in San Francisco. On each episode, you'll hear commentary by my co-host, Michael Vargas, a fellow dating coach with a clinical psychology background, my producer, Julie Krafchick, and other surprise co-hosts. Stay tuned until the end of the episode for a fun dating fact presented by our partner Lively, a new dating app that uses videos to tell your story. By the way, we started a t-shirt line, and we're pretty sure these t-shirts would make killer presents for the holidays. So check it out on our website at dateablepodcast.com. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Dateable, a show that opens up a candid conversation about dating in San Francisco. We've been quite promiscuous with our co-hosts lately, and this week we have Harvey. Hey, Harvey.
Hey, I'm the rebound. So this might be it, but we'll see if I stick around.
One night stand.
Rebounds are sometimes the sexiest sex.
Yeah.
Quick and dirty.
We wanted Harvey to be my co-host because Harvey is a self-proclaimed high-frequency dater. What does that mean?
It means that I explore rapidly and then I burn myself out and take a nap and declare bankruptcy, which is delete all the apps and just go organic. It's really strange.
When you say high-frequency, how many dates per week?
Well, 5.
Wow.
Sometimes a double book, but mostly the weekends are for friends and the weekdays are for dating.
I
What
would
about
say-
you, eh? What's your dating frequency?
I would say I'm the opposite of Harvey. I'm a low-frequency dater. Most of my dates convert into second, third dates. I rarely go on a bunch of first dates. But I do admire people who have the time and energy to do high-frequency dating because I think that's a great way to get to know what you like and what you don't like. So today, we have a beautiful lady sitting next to me, Megan, who is the founder of MeetFoxie.com. She is a life and dating coach. Megan and I met for lunch or for coffee a long time ago, like months and months ago.
Long time.
And we were kind of sharing dating stories, and I thought some of my dating stories were crazy, and then she started sharing some of hers, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, she wins. So what's the story you have for us today?
Oh man, well, I tend to enjoy really unique people, both in my social and dating life. And so the guys I've dated have been very, very, very unique. And the last one was no exception. I moved to Bali for a couple years, and I was really happy to live there. So I would go back and forth, San Francisco to Bali.
Was it Eat, Pray, Love?
Kind of. I went, I got laid off from my corporate tech jobby job and went traveling and just fell in love with the place, broke up with a boyfriend, moved back to Bali, and
Finding yourself.
went on an adventure. And I met this guy, very cute, looked a little like Justin Bieber. He seemed pretty normal on the surface, but I find that when you do long distance, like the freaky shit starts to come out, because I would come back to San Francisco and a week would go by, we'd send messages, I miss you, sexy pictures, it was all good, a little sexy talk. But then once like a month or 6 weeks would go by, things would start to get pretty freaky, mostly on his end. And I started to notice, like, this guy kind of has a food fetish. Like, what is this? It's stuff I'd never seen before. But, as sexual tension would build, we wouldn't be having sex for a while. And so he would like outlet that with these like really freaky fantasies. And so, of course, as any good girlfriend would do, I'd share them with my girlfriends. And they were like, please break up with this guy so we can put them on the internet. So funny. So I had a personal favorite. You can I'll share it with you right now. He started it out with some sexy photos of him, like...
Megan's showing me photos right now. Okay. Oh, he does look like a dark-haired Justin Bieber.
Right? He's like flexing for me in the photos. And then the letter goes on to explain how, wow, just so you know, I'm getting really into bodybuilding, which is funny because he's like kind of a skinny guy.
Okay.
So I'm getting really into bodybuilding, and I just want to let you know it's getting me pumped up. I think I need to write you this sexy letter. So I'll share a little excerpt from the letter. I hope it's not like too inappropriate.
Can you do it in his voice?
For the show? Yeah. I'll speak in his notes. I'm going to skip to like the good parts. You would be cooking eggs while I'm fucking you from behind, and then right away when they're done, you'd shut off the stove and I'd come inside you and just hold you. Shortly afterwards, we'd bring the eggs into bed and feed them to each other, and then I would go down on you. I know you might think to yourself, but you have egg breath. Yeah, baby, I have egg breath, but nothing in the world can stop me from eating your pussy right now.
Oh my God.
I'd continue to eat your pussy while I have a finger inside you, looking around for your G-spots. Then I'd make you come, and I'd cuddle you and tell you I have a surprise for you. I'd walk outside and come right back in seconds later with a full rack of steaming bacon and a little dipping cup.
Damn, I was waiting for the bacon.
Every girl's fantasy right here.
And a little dipping cup of maple syrup. You would start reaching for the bacon, and I would say, wait a minute, and I would wrap my dick with bacon and drip maple syrup all over it and make you eat the bacon off of it.
Bacon wrapped dick. Yes.
When you're done eating the bacon off my cock, I'd go down on you again and put my cock back inside you and fuck you really slowly until we both came. Then we would fall asleep and wake up and say, wow, that was crazy. Love you.
How much time was breakfast?
So spotted dick. That's what spotted dick is.
He sounded love you?
He said, love you. Yeah,
Sincerely?
so needless to say, breakfast has never been the same for me.
Have you guys ever acted this out?
We have not. And I called him afterwards and said, Nev, was that for real? Like, were you serious? And he was like, oh yeah.
Did you guys
100%.
eat breakfast in the same room after that?
Oh yeah, we had several breakfasts, but never dick-related breakfasts.
I have a really important question. Who made the bacon?
That's a great question. Yeah, that is a good
There's a
question.
There is.
He probably did before because he planned it all out in his like freaky sexual fantasy.
He should be more explicit about that.
You're right. He should have written it out. Like I previously had cooked the bacon an hour and a half before, or I had our hired help cook the bacon.
So when you first said that he was really into like food stuff as fetish, I thought it was like insertion of food or like playing around with food. I didn't realize it was actually cooking and then fucking.
Egg breath. Wow, that's a really nice one. He's talked about like dripping maple syrup on me or honey, but I always thought that would be too sticky or weird, you know? I was like, I don't think that's actually sexy, only in fantasy land. But he was actually into that. He's like, no, I'd really want that to happen. In fact, he had another fantasy where he would like hung up hot dogs and had me like eat them.
Hung up hot dogs like from the ceiling?
Yeah, and then I had to like go after them, like bobbing for apples, but
Like bite into them or like suck on them?
like bite into them. I don't know. I can't explain.
Were you
his
naked?
Sexual mind. Yeah, like I'd be all sexy and like naked and like sexy eating hot dogs if you can pull that off. I don't know. So, and I'm a pretty sexually liberated, open-minded person. So I always was like, yeah, cool. I'll play into your fantasies. That's all right.
How long had you been dating before he revealed this fetish?
I think we were together about like 8 months before that.
How many of those months were long distance?
Probably like 2 or 3 of the months were long distance, and then the rest was togetherness time. Very interesting.
I think it would have come out no matter what, but it just was expedited by the distance.
I don't know if you've ever done long distance, but you can get pretty sexually frustrated and your mind goes crazy places. You're just like, everything starts looking sexy to you. Apparently hot dogs. Like,
Well, hot dogs are sexy. Did you notice anything from like your first date or second date? Like the way he handled food or the way he looked at you while you were eating?
Did you always have sex
No.
around breakfast time?
Morning sex was a thing, but no signs that he was like a weird like food fetish kind of guy.
Was food always involved with sex?
No, not always.
But was sex always better with food around?
Probably for him. No, when my girlfriends joked, they were like, Megan, you need to write him a letter back. Like, he could be Nacho Man. You could write a nacho fantasy about how, like, you want to be human nachos.
If you wrote anything back, you could have got an awesome fantasy back.
Right? I know. It's just ridiculous.
So he would never date a vegetarian?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
That's like a disqualifier for him. That's for
Vegan.
Sure.
Hell no. How did you meet him again?
We met in Bali. We just happened to be staying in the same vacation house, and there it was.
Why was he in Bali?
He was there. He has an interesting story. He was on the run from the law, actually.
Was he stealing food?
He wasn't. He got in trouble, like doing some,
So he's a bad boy.
Yeah, he's a bad boy, doing some things he shouldn't do.
When you say you fall for, or you date unique people, I'm not going to say fall for all of them. Is bad boys one of the categories?
I have in the past fallen for some bad boys, but now in my mature, older age, I like guys who are unique and different, but not in the bad boy way. I've learned to differentiate the two. Still unique, still their own people, but they don't have to be lawbreakers or food. What did we say? Food.
We can combine
Sexy
words.
food
We can
people.
make a super word.
Food fetish people. Sexy foodies? Food sexies?
Foodish?
Foodish.
Foodish?
Yeah.
No, that's not hot.
Yeah.
There's nothing, none of this is hot to me at all.
Thank you. Yeah. I was not turned on by his initial letter, but I was very amused.
You didn't break up with him because of it.
I didn't. I did eventually break up with him, but it wasn't because of that. I came back to San Francisco and I realized this is where my business is, this is where my family is, so I called him and broke up with him over Skype. Bit of a dick move.
He must just have erections all the time going through like ballparks, Whole Foods, kitchens.
Think of all that blood flow redirecting from his brain. He's just like hard on all the time.
Did you ever ask him where this fetish came from? How did he discover it?
I asked him about it. I was like, wait, are you for real? And he said, yeah, I really like that. And he said, I just really love food, like food. If I eat good food, it just really turns me on. It like makes me hard.
Maybe I'm super vanilla. I just don't like to play around with food in bed because I don't like crumbs in bed. And then I have to change my sheets. I mean, I'm thinking about like, if he ate eggs, he had egg breath, and he went down on you, are there like egg particles in your pussy? And then like, how do you clean that shit out?
So then you couldn't be converted to like messy sex, because there's something to be said for people who are like so horny, so turned on that they just want it anytime. There's a fetish for that. In fact, I had a friend tell me the other day that they went to Burning Man and that there was a gay guy there who was like, had a sign on that said, I will suck your like dirty, playa, disgusting, unclean, dusty, shaved cock.
Oh my God.
And it was like a fetish thing. Like, it's so dirty, but it doesn't matter because I'm so turned on right now that I want it anyway.
Yeah, I guess we can't completely rationalize fetishes, right? They come from somewhere. I get the concept of throwing it down anywhere and having like rough, raw sex. Like, that's really hot.
Yeah.
But I'm I'm in my mid-30s. I like to think about like the aftermath. What am I cleaning up here, right? Am I going to get a UTI from this? I don't want an egg UTI. That shit is going to sting.
Yeah, hot tubs are not
Hot
fun
tubs,
anymore.
bacon, bacon UTIs, all that grease. Oh, hell no. I'm going to have to explain it to my doctor. How did you get this UTI? Oh, I was fucking someone. Bacon wrapped around his penis.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't want to explain that.
I don't want to smell like a Big Mac for 2 weeks. Like, it's just not worth it.
Can I ask a fetish question? When someone writes their fetish, do they actually want to do the exact thing that they write, or are they just announcing to you, hey, I like to have sex around breakfast. If it gets a little weird, that'd be cool.
That's a hard thing to say because there's this weird different, there's fantasy world and then there's reality. And to me, that's what's so fun about fantasies is you can do anything up in your own mind, like you can go anywhere. And then if you talk about it, does that mean you actually want to do those things? Sometimes not. Like a lot of girls have like gangbang fantasies, but then they're like, oh no, I don't actually want to get fucked by 10 guys at once. But in my mind, that's really hot. So.
Oh, that's such a great point. Because if you look at my like porn history, you'd be like, this girl's sick.
Yeah, what is your deal?
Yeah, whatever's in your head is a little different than what you're able to do in real life.
In Bieber's defense, he's thinking...
It'd be great if this actually was Justin Bieber.
He's thinking of you. He wants to have sex with you, and he's maybe having breakfast, and he's bored.
Yeah.
So he's like, God, what can I do with all this breakfast food? I made too much.
And plus, what's better than bacon? So if he's like comparing me or sex with me to bacon, like it's kind of a compliment. That's a beautiful thing,
Why is this not a category? Let me look at you porn. Categories of you porn. We've got like lesbian, pantyhose, amateur, brunette, Latina, anal.
Where's the bacon?
Where's the bacon?
Where's the bacon?
Masturbation, female friendly,
Masterbacon?
orgy, dildos. Masterbacon. Bacon porn fetish. Bacon on everything. Japanese meat fetish porn.
Oh, see, Japanese always have it down.
They got
win
it
everything.
down.
Man.
Oh, no, I don't know what that is. I don't want to look at that. Oh, shit, look at all that bacon wrapped on these titties.
These are bacon bikinis.
Bacon wrapped titties. That's different.
So have you talked to him since?
Oh, yeah, definitely. In fact, after I broke up with him, it's a funny story, too. Like, a few weeks ago, he messaged me. He's like, Megan, I have a big problem. I need you to help me solve it. I lost all the pictures of your boobs. My computer got stolen, and I really have been having fantasies about you. I need you to send me some new ones.
What?
And then he sends me another message and says, because it's just not fair that I lost those, so if you could just send me some new ones, that would be great.
Is this in all caps?
Yeah, and it's like a 13-year-old boy speaking at me. I was like, I have a boyfriend now. I'm probably not going to send you pictures of my boobs.
Don't Google Drive those? You Google Drive those. What is wrong with him?
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
and password secure.
So like the most important pictures you'll ever own.
He's disorganized, yeah.
This food fetish thing is fascinating to me. So when I was in New York, I had a few girlfriends who made a living from playing out people's fetishes. And one of them was this guy would regularly take her out to dinners, okay? This was like her weekly client. He would take her out to dinners and they would have like a nice 5-course meal together. And then the part that's the fetishized part is that he would watch her do the 5 courses again. So she would have 10 courses in one night.
It's like a gluttony fetish?
A gluttony fetish, but he would then go home and jerk off. They would never have any sexual contact.
Yeah, because she was so tired. With a food coma.
Food coma, yeah. She had big food coma. If she got too full and couldn't finish, would it like turn him off? Was he like, you're disgusting, I just don't even want to.
He's like, blue balls. I do, and we talked about this before on previous episodes, Julie. It's like, I admire people who have fetishes that are kind of fringe, because then when they find someone who has the same fetish, they're going to fall in love right away, You
need to wear it on your sleeve, Otherwise, you're never going to find someone else who appreciates it. So good job, Beebs. Way to bust out your bacon dick.
So now we're on the topic of fetishes again, and we've talked about this before, but what are your fetishes? Let's start with Megan.
Mine are boring. I like to be dominated,
Yeah, we hear that one a lot.
I'm into that. Yeah, I'm a pretty high-power woman. I like to take charge, have a career, do my thing. But then in the bedroom, I want someone else to take charge.
Yeah, so like manhandling. Yeah. Do you like a little BDSM?
Light stuff, I'm sure I'm pretty game for almost anything. I'm a big try anything once kind of person, except the bacon. But yeah, I like to be controlled. I like to be out of control.
Have you ever tried out a fetish other than the bacon one that you were like, oh, hell no, I'm never doing that one again?
Not yet. There's one I want to try though.
Which one?
I like the idea of pretending to meet a partner for the first time at a bar.
Role play.
Yeah, I like that. Like, oh, I'm just meeting you, and then pretending to be super easy. Like, oh, this guy can just game me.
Staying in character is so hard with that one.
So hard. Role play is so
Especially
hard.
when other like strangers come into it, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are on a first date," you know?
Yeah, but it's so much fun when you play it out. My friend went into a wig store. She out of curiosity, she asked like one of the people who worked there. She's like, "Who's your biggest customer here? Like who buys the most wigs?" And she said, "Mostly men buying for their wives." Like role play is so huge that they actually dominate the wig industry.
I'm personally a big proponent of monogamy for myself. I don't care what other people do, but I like it, partially because it's like a dying breed of relationship, you know?
In San Francisco, yes, as we know.
But I think role playing is a great way to maintain that because you can explore things together and evolve your sexuality as a partnership. You know, you can do new things. There are no rules, and I think that's a great way to maintain it and keep things interesting. So people say, oh, it's just you can't get satisfied by one person. I think you can if you're creative enough. So
I agree. I don't think people use enough variety in their relationship and try hard enough. Avenue that a lot of monogamists don't go down because they're so traditional.
Yeah, and there's stigma attached to a lot of fetishes.
And how many people do a fetish and be like, oh, that was so terrible. If it just doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Isn't that one of the beautiful things about partnership, though, and monogamy, is that it's a safe space. You can try things, and if it goes weird, you're just like, scrap that, move on to something else. And there's no judgment because this is someone that you really care about and that you have something special
You
with.
try it, it might be a funny story. It's going to be a funny story.
Exactly. It should be a safe space, though, and as long as you have that, then there are no rules, and then things can get really exciting, I think.
I also think that one of the most exciting parts of partnership is discovering new fetishes together.
Exactly.
Is there a list of like light to heavy fetishes? You know, like
There's gotta be.
really easy ones, like 101.
A guidebook. Harvey, do you have any fetishes?
Well, since I met you, I've been thinking about food and like could I? So anyone that knows me knows that I absolutely is infatuated with pesto. It's like I think it's like the best food group ever created. So a bathtub full of pesto.
Oh my gosh.
Would be, I don't know, it'd either be the best or the worst thing ever.
But like, yeah, what would you?
You know what surfboarding is, right? Have you heard of Beyonce?
No, Beyonce. Surfboard.
Surf.
No, I'm confused.
Okay,
Break it down.
yeah,
It's
break
a
it
term
down
for
us.
sex, where the girl's riding on top of the guy.
Okay.
And there's just pesto everywhere.
That might do it for me if you had some like fresh made pasta being thrown into the mix and then it's all going onto a plate and then afterwards you have all this crazy sex and then you get to eat this fresh made pasta with pesto.
And it's in the bathroom, so UA, you know, is concerned about cleaning up. It's fine.
Who's cleaning
Just
it
hose
though?
it all up.
Maybe it'd be good for you though. There are like herbs in there. That could be like Eastern
Your
medicine.
vagina could actually be
like,
better.
Yeah. It might be tightening, it might be rejuvenating.
Well, this is the closed-mindedness that we can't handle.
And then we bottle it up and sell it as vaginal rejuvenation.
That would actually go for something in Japan, next to the used underwear.
Oh my gosh. So the same girl that I know from New York who did the 5-course meal, she also had another client who drew a bath for her. And then he wrapped her naked body in cellophane and put her in the bathtub. And then he cut up carrots and celery and put it in the bathtub. And he had salt and pepper. And he had a giant spoon. And he drank the bath water.
He made a broth.
human,
He made a
human broth.
Bone broth.
Bone broth, yes. And she said she just like fell asleep in the bathtub and he was like really turned on by this. She got paid to be wrapped in cellophane naked and take a bath.
I have a girlfriend whose boyfriend liked to be wrapped in cellophane, and he would like when she wrapped him in cellophane and then would just sit in front of him and paint her toenails and like do mundane activities.
You can't move when you're in
was
cellophane,
wrapped
right?
in cellophane, and that was his kink. He just loved it. He's so turned on.
You can't get out of it, right?
No, and she'd have to give him water because it makes you sweat a lot. So like you need to be hydrated.
I wonder if these people have their own podcast where they talk about us. Oh my God, my friend, she likes to have sex missionary style on a bed with clean sheets. It's disgusting. How does she do it? I encourage everyone to explore kind of their freaky side because that's what makes life fun. That's what makes sex fun. just explore your freaky side.
Yeah. And there's nothing worse than being laughed at for your sexual kinks. That's like the number one relationship killer, in my opinion. If you're like open and you're doing your thing and then someone laughs at you, done. Never again.
Done.
Boner killer.
Julie, do we have, you have a question of the day for us.
And it's actually super relevant.
Julie, our esteemed producer, has a question of the
about
day.
Bacon?
Not that relevant. Okay, so this came from Jennifer. My boyfriend wants me to talk dirty in the bedroom, but I feel so uncomfortable. What are some good lines or tips to do this in a more subtle way that will still turn him on?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Everyone's blushing right now.
Maybe we should hear one from each person.
I just like to swear a lot. Yeah, I just like that. I don't know, is that just...
I would advise her to ask herself what are the things that she gets the most turned on by, and to write those things down. And then to figure out different ways to say those things, and while they're happening, to say them because they're real. That's not a far stretch from reality. She can be like, this is what I like, this is what's happening. Yeah, and to him that will probably be dirty talk. Right. And it'll be hot for both of them, and it's not too far of a stretch.
Harvey, what's your thoughts from a male perspective?
Ooh. Right. I think I'm with you on this communication thing, and almost anything that a woman says is sexy when you're having sex. Because there's so many women that are silent or close to silent in bed.
Oh, and that's the worst, right?
Easily.
The worst.
Yeah, I mean,
guys want to hear
she
feedback.
Could just say like, "This feels good," or like something at a minimum, like,
or like right there. Just anything every once in a while is so sexy.
You almost just think.
That's
You almost
fake.
think out loud. You know, you just say what you're thinking or what you're feeling, and that's hot to the person you're having sex with.
Any other words of advice we can give to our listener about beginner dirty talk? Have you ever gotten this question from any of your clients?
You know, guys don't ask a lot about dirty talk. They ask more about if women enjoy sex. Isn't that crazy?
They're really asking that?
No, they're serious. Yeah, they really want to know. I don't know.
What kind of sex are they having?
Yeah, maybe they
sex.
need more dirty talk. But no, not a lot of questions about dirty talk.
And then how would this person know?
How would they know?
Yeah.
If a woman enjoys sex?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a big communication person. That's at the core of what I teach. So you could just ask, you know, be like, was that good for you? You know?
It's easy for you. What about the women that don't communicate as much?
Well, as a guy, it's good if you take a lead to get them to feel comfortable communicating those things. So maybe you lead by example and say, wow, that was really good for me. I love that you did this, this, and this. That turned me on. What about you? Was that good for you? And then it gives them a framework through which to answer. So they feel comfortable opening up.
Great. Okay. Let's talk about meetfoxie.com.
Yeah, you know, it's a huge passion business for me. I'm a crazy people person. I love to meet new people. So I've been a dating coach for 10 years now and have helped 1,000 guys from around the world, which is awesome. Now I help women as well, and I really teach people how to bring out their most attractive qualities so they can meet the people who are good for them in business context, in professional, whatever, social, romantic, whoever you want to meet. How can you just be yourself, meet good people, be extroverted, and bring those people into your life? So I've got workshops, monthly programs.
What's the number one tip you can give to people who want to attract the right person?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best intention when you're meeting new people is just to be curious. Instead of trying to get something from anyone, just try to tap into your own curiosity. What do you want to know about that person? What do you need to know in order to know that you'd want to spend more time with that person? Go with the intention of finding that out, and people will be open and receptive instead of putting up blocks and being creeped out by you trying to get something from them. So be curious instead of trying to get something, and you're going to meet a lot more people.
Bring some bacon.
And bring some bacon. Wait, and a dipping cup of maple syrup.
You're really into that maple syrup. Great. If you want to learn more about Megan, you can go to her website, meetfoxie.com. That's FOXIE.com. And listeners at home, if you want to share some of your fetishes, this is one of my favorite topics because, dude, like freaky is great. I love freaky people. But we want to hear about your fetishes. We want to hear about what turns you on, maybe dirty talking. And we want to hear about people who are maybe in the initial stages of discovering their fetishes. That's kind of interesting too. Why not just like broadcast it to the world?
Own it.
Be loud and proud. And on that note, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Stay dateable.
P.S. We want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Here's a dating fact brought to you by Lively, a new video dating app. and we have Kat from Lively here. Kat, do you have any facts around food and sex by chance?
Well, oddly enough, we do.
Yes.
So we compiled a lot of research and studies, and we found that there are certain foods that increase your hormone levels. Yes, and create that feeling that mimics the sensations of sex.
Oh, are eggs and sausages on this list?
Funny enough, no. They are not on this list. But we have some other foods that you might find interesting.
Okay,
So-
taking notes.
Yeah, so the first one is kind of, we get it, oysters.
Oh yeah, we've all heard that one.
I mean, just look at it. It's
Just look at it.
just look at that oyster. You know why. Come on now.
Yes.
The second one, chili peppers.
Really? Huh.
Wow, spicy. I don't know, right? It heats up your insides, I guess.
It does, yes.
The third one, coffee.
Also another one I don't think is super attractive.
I think maybe in the morning you need coffee before you.
That's true. That's more to get your stamina up.
Exactly. Okay, the next one is an interesting one, avocados.
Yes, I love avocados.
Yeah, I know. When I saw this, I was like, okay, I'm totally game.
Totally,
Bring on
yeah.
the avocado.
I would just date an avocado. I love avocados so much. I love them so much. They're so beautiful.
And finally, I think this one brings us back to the oyster comment. The last food, bananas.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, you don't even need to eat it, just look at it. Cool, love the list. No eggs on this list, surprisingly. Or not surprisingly. Thanks, Kat, and thanks, Lively, for that dating fact. Videos tell your story better. Download the Lively dating app today at golively.app.com. To connect with us, visit dateablepodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all under Dateable Podcast.